It's true that its AI boom is wild, and I'm watching these new products daily, things like Open Cloud and O1 are definitely mind blowing. And the tech is moving way faster than most people thought anyway. But I see a clear problem here. All these amazing AI tools mostly benefit just the big tech companies. Think about it. Big companies like OpenAI, Google, Meta are getting stronger and more valuable. But what about regular people like us? Apart from saving some times of work, it's very hard for us actually to make money from this AI wave. So that's my main issue. AI is at the center of a huge shift. But in today's system, every people have almost no chances to benefit from it. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like like a lot of people like get hype about these like AI product, the capability of those AI, but the big company take all the profit, take all the cashes. So like
Yeah.
in this structural problem, like how did it actually happen? Like, you know?
Well, yeah, the problem is that, the AI world today is not really fair. Most of these systems are built, behind closest door by these big giant, companies. And every time, you ask a question or you fix a mistake or even give it a feedback, you are basically helping improving the AI for free. So you are giving, real input and data, and what happened is that the AI gets better, the company becomes more valuable, but you don't get anything, back from that.
Yeah.
And that's the issue with today's AI. It mostly work in one direction. The company gains while regular people don't see much benefit.
Yeah, true. Totally agree on that. Well,
Yeah.
yes. Also, and when we're looking at the market data, how big is the potential for the AI, like AI plus Web3 spaces, like among all those AI big company? Still, for regular people like me, like us, is it still worth like going all in this industrial?
Well, let me share some simple numbers, right? If you think about it, the global AI market was approximately 200 billion in 200 and in 2023, right?
Yeah,
And it could reach approximately 5 trillion by 2033. So that's is basically like 25 times bigger in 10 years. And at the same time, Web3 had around 580 million users in 2023. And it could grow to 1 billion, approximately by 2030. Now, if you combine these trends, right, the total market by 2035, let's say, it could be, around 12 trillion. So, it means that it's going to be bigger than the top three public companies in this world, even
yeah,
combined. So, yeah, but as I said before, the real question is how do we get a share of that?
yeah, true. Like for a quick question here, yeah, like among all
Mhm.
those like big company with the stat that you provide just now, like what is the art play here, and how did the community or regular people like me like really benefit into it? How do we really get in hand on it?
Well, traditional, AI mainly takes value from users, right?
Yeah,
While the Web3 is about building and sharing together. What we want is that, the value created by our system, goes back to everyone that is involved in a clear and transparent way. Instead of, having the few big players getting the most of the benefits like is now, we grow the system together and we reward people based on what they are getting the most of benefits like is now. We grow the system together and we reward people based on what they actually contribute. And when you combine a tool that makes people more efficient and a network as well, where people can, work together and trust the system, I think you create a big new opportunity. AI helps people moving faster, right? And the Web3 at the same time makes this easier, with collaboration, rewarding people fairly, and grow at scale.
The concept sound awesome, but I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what is the actual product? If I'm not wrong, is it the Arkie AI that everyone been waiting for it, right?
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
So how do you define if it's Arkie AI? How do you define Arkie AI? Is it a fundamental different from the generic AI wrapper bot out there, like compared to other AI?
Yeah, that's another good question. Well, Arkie is not just one of these basic chat tools that you often see around, And let me explain. So Arkie AI, I will explain it in three simple points, right? So the first point is, it's your entry point, for regular people anyway, into our Arc ecosystem. So you don't need to know anything about crypto or AI. If you can just chat, you can use it anyway. There is nothing to learn about it, right? Now, the second point is that Arkie actually, does things for you. It doesn't not just give you, advice. Because if you look at most of the AI tools, only tells you what to do, right? Because if you look at most of the AI tools, only tells you what to do, right? But you still have to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Arkie acts more like a personal digital assistant. Sorry, it can analyze data, review project, spot risks, and also write and check also code. And the only thing is that it will always ask your permission, to carry out the action. And the third point that, in my opinion, that's the most important, is that Arc is not controlled by any company. It improves while people are using it, and when you use it and give it feedback, it obviously gets better. So you are not just a user, but you are also helping building it.
Okay. Well, it sounds so powerful, and then you did mention that it trained and built by the community, not by the one company, right?
Yeah.
So at this point, what's the rollout plan look like? Like, when can the community actually get their hands on the Arkie, since it's built together with the community itself?
Well, we have a clear 3-step plan right now, right? The phase one is make the experience work smoothly, right? And with that, I mean that that is what we're focusing right now, and the goal is to improve, RTI, so that the first time you use it, you think, wow, this is really working, And the phase two is to grow the ecosystem, we will launch a marketplace where developers can add their own custom agents and everyone can share the value created, basically. And this is where RKI moves from a single product to a full platform, basically. And the phase three is building the foundation, right? And so that is for the long run, building the foundation, right? And so that is for the long run. RKI aims to become, the system that, connects AI and Web3 globally.
So just now you did mention building and training together, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So on technical skill, level, how does that actually work? Well, I'm not in this industry, but it sounds great in theory, but how does it really put it off? How
data, and to distribute rewards as well. And every time, obviously, you use it or give feedback, that action is, it gets recorded on chain as a proof of contribution. In the middle terms, we will build a stronger, AI collaboration protocol, so that basically different AI agents can communicate, work together, and also handle payments automatically. And for the long terms, we want to create, an AI native, public chain, designed specifically for, AI agents, identity, trust, and payments as well. But as I say, that will come later anyway. Right now, the focus is simple. Make Arkie AI experience really solid, so that people can actually feel the value of this, building and improving together loop. Yeah. And as I've been saying, technology should always serve the product, not the other way around.
Yeah, I agree with that. So basically, you mean that we are actually building a product, the killer product first, like massive boom product for all the users to actually can easily dive in without so complicated skills or so on. And also in between, we let the tech evolve naturally, right?
Yeah.
So, correct. So like, what's the tech stack is Arkie AI running on right now?
Well, currently, Arkie AI is running on an established large AI models, combined with our, custom training and fine tuning. But on the blockchain side, we are using, as I say, the smart contracts, obviously to handle, the core stuff like users' contribution point and revenue sharing. Our playbook is, make the business loop first. Our playbook is, make the business loop first. Our playbook is, make the business loop first, and then upgrade the base stack. So I don't think users right now really cares what blockchain is running under the skin. I think that they just care if the AI actually serves them and also make them money. And once we reach a large user base and we have also enough data, we will build deeper AI native infrastructure, because I believe that by then there will be real demand for it.
Yeah, definitely. So it makes sense though, but from what I heard, it's just basically building an economy for AI, right? But in the sense of the other way, how do we actually make sure that this system is sustainable?
Yeah, well, that's where our ecosystem flywheel comes in. Let me explain the loop there, right? So now, when we have more usage, right, obviously we will have a smarter system. At the same time, we will have more stable revenue in main sources, right? The AI tools fees, for example, subscription, pay as you go, or premium features, right? Also from the B2B services like APIs or private deployment, and the protocol fees that are transaction cards, marketplace fees, and all the ecosystem charges, right? Yeah. So now, as everyone knows, every app in the ecosystem run fully on ART tokens, right? So a portion of these ART that we earn, obviously, is burned right away, and that is to reduce supply, and the rest is basically converted into stable coins that it serves to fund the ecosystem, like the treasury, paying developers, and buying more computing power as well.
Yeah.
And obviously again to improve also the product. So in a way, it keeps feeding itself and getting stronger all the time.
So basically, you're saying that finally a news.
We are
Damn.
finally getting there.
Finally a news.
We are
Damn.
finally getting there.
Finally. I assume that all the community that join our EMA live is so excited. So does it mean that like the community will get the first dip on trying out Arkie AI?
As we all know, real AI progress only happens when the real people are using it at scale, right?
Yeah.
So finally, we can see our work. I mean, everything how it comes out, right? So next month it will be really a big, huge turning point for the ARC ecosystem. I can say that.
Yeah, definitely. We are in need of that. We are waiting for so long, like finally. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And also, beside the launch,
Mhm.
I have heard also some news, right? I think
Yeah.
I think you got something moving up, line up for the massive marketing move, right? On offline meeting, isn't it?
Yes, that's true. I think let me share this first, right? We will be focusing on the Asian market because obviously is a ocean that we are betting on, right?
Yeah.
And the main reason is because Asia currently has the highest mobile internet usage rate in the world. So that numbers don't lie, and this
Yeah.
is where the most active and you know, showing up as a quick PR stunt. What I'm gonna do is honestly putting myself in these markets,
Uh-huh.
and understanding how local use their apps, and looking also real local partnership, for example, related to compute, and also for tech and expansion as well. So yeah, we are launching our global business expansion starting, from Asia. And it's not just about anyway pushing the product, right? It is more about, building a real localized network.
Great. Well, I'm probably gonna see you in Asia again. Well, last time we
I
met
think so.
in Hong Kong, I learned so much from you, though. Well, thanks again. Well, it
My
sounds like
pleasure.
you're very super confident in the Asia market. But why is the
Mhm.
actual marketing playbook here? Is it, well, user acquisition is very incredibly expensive right now, and a lot of
Yeah.
people hate downloading new app. How do we gonna get past that? Because like in Asia, each of the country have
Mhm.
their own social media, like own applications, right? But when
Yeah.
come up with a new app, it usually takes a lot of time and effort to make all the users to really download or to really use it. So how do we gonna pass that?
All right, that's another great question. Now, let me tell you that we figured out this long ago, right?
Hmm.
Our approach is completely different. We're not going to force anyone to download, a new standalone app. Our core strategy is, seamless integration and deep social reach. So, I mean, to put it simple, right?
Yeah.
Wherever a user spend the most time on their phone, that is exactly where Arkie AI will be, basically.
So yeah, I got what you mean, but
Mhm.
what does this integration actually look like? I don't have the picture. Can you give me some example? Yeah, I'm not in this area.
Yeah, don't worry. I will give you an easiest example, all right? So
Yeah.
let's say you are a guy in Malaysia, right? And let's say you are using WhatsApp all day, to text your friend or family, right?
Yeah.
Now, soon you will just need to add, a contact name, Arki, on your WhatsApp, and from there you will be able to text, Arki as a friend, right?
Oh,
Now, for
interesting.
example, you can text Arki, let's say, Arki, check the Bitcoin market for me today, right? If the short-term trend looks good, or if I can go ahead and open, let's say, a long position from my wallet, right?
Hmm.
Now, Arki is going to analyze everything and text you back with Bitcoin is trending up right now. It's giving you also, it's going to give you, for example, the trade preview generated. And after that, we will ask you, to confirm, to authorize everything, right?
Wow.
Now, once you tap confirm, right, everything is
Yeah.
done. I mean, that is how it's going to work. And, through this entire process, you don't need obviously to do a single app. You don't need to learn a new interface, and you literally just send, a message on WhatsApp.
Mhm.
So in few words, right, we are turning, RTI into APIs and plugins that basically lives directly inside, the world biggest social apps like, Telegram, Line, WhatsApp, and also, let's say, Cow Talk.
Yeah.
So whatever you use as a hub to text your friends is basically exactly where you're gonna talk to Arki. That it will be your digital agent.
Wow. Hold on. Are you saying that we don't need an actual app and then you just our Arki AI will actually live directly in all those big social media like social app, like among all
Yeah,
those country, regardless
yeah,
any country that they are used to use. Like for example, like Malaysia is using WhatsApp. So basically, input Arki AI directly into a plugin, like an expansion, right?
yes,
Wow, that is a
yeah,
genius move. My God.
yeah. It is.
But still, this is one of the question. Yeah, why
Mhm.
start with Asia? Is there any like strong backing data or strategy that back that up?
Well, there are three main reasons. So the first one is that is the mobile internet penetration in Asia, right? That is the highest on the planet right now. If you think about it, like South Korea's social app penetration is approximately 95%, right?
Yeah.
Line usage in Japan is approximately 80%. And if you look at Malaysia, for example, right, WhatsApp penetration is approximately 85% to 90%, right? So these numbers are top tier globally, is something really big. Now, the second point is that, users in Asia are naturally, close to Web3 concept, like, play to earn or even, co-build to profit, right?
Yeah.
And the third point is that, Asia is the fastest growing market right now. If you think about it, like India alone has 530 million WhatsApp users and it's still growing anyway. So yeah, those are the reasons why.
I see. So basically, I have a big balls of imagination. Yeah. So basically, you're saying that we're gonna infiltrate all those audience, the populations, by piggybacking on those tech giants that already have billion of users, by just using the API to plug in Arkie and live among all the country with the social app.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the most important lesson, that we learn going from V1 to where we are today.
Yeah.
And I'll be totally real with you guys, right? I don't care how incredible your tech is, if it's people naturally use their phone, you're just building it for yourself at the end of the day. Because I've seen, too many projects with white paper that look like, a college textbook. But, at the end, the users can't even, figure out how to install the wallet. So those projects, in my opinion, are dead on arrival. So that's why, ARC is taking an opposite approach, right? We don't try to, teach the market. We work with, how people already behave and support it. So if we focus on the right users, right, instead of forcing people to learn, we just need to meet them where they are and give them, the tools, to make them stronger.
Yeah, totally agree on that. It makes sense though. It's really like fastest way to really approach the audience with the lowest education period, right? Yeah, I agree with what you say. Like a lot of white paper is thicker than the college textbook. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Like fully. Like OpenClaw itself. I'm not a coder, but if I want to use OpenClaw, I need to learn the code. I need to learn the prompt to install it.
Yeah.
There's no app for me. Well,
that's
Yeah, agree, right? So on this part, Dr. Carmelo, to wrap it up, I want to ask the most practical question, like directly from community, yeah? Like, since our Arkia is coming out next month with the ecosystem flying wheels and all sort of the tech that really like we are expecting, so we can't wait for it. But at this point, what should regular folks like us, like from the community, be doing right now? How do we get into this? Should we do anything?
Well, I thought about this a lot, and it really comes down to three simple things at the end. Is use, train, and hold. And by saying that is first use it, right? If you hold Arc, you don't need. I mean, you need to use it. In Arkie, don't just sit on your bags, doing nothing, because obviously the value is generated by usage, right? Now, not by just waiting around. So the more you use it, the better you understand the system, and the stronger your position in the ecosystem becomes over the time.
Yeah.
Now the Second, it was training, right? So every single time you use it and you correct, a typo or give a feedback, you are literally making Arkie smarter, right? So the more people jumps in, the faster, Arkie evolves. And that's basically, what we need, that
Yeah.
is hard coded in our system, right?
Yeah.
Now, the third, it was hold, right? Now, as I've been saying many times, even the past AMAs,
Yeah.
all long terms, and let the ecosystem compound interest, do the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your sports right now decide how big your slice of our pie, will be later, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, I know that early adopters gets the heaviest weight, right? But that's how every successful ecosystem in history has worked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, to some, these three words, is the easiest way, for every people, for everyday people anyway, to
Yeah.
take part of this AI plus Web3 way. You
Yeah.
don't need to be a coder or be rich. You just need to do these three simple things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. But just on my side here, because I've been
Mhm.
going through with the community quite a lot, but it happens a lot that when user do really focus on use, train, and hold, like as you say, the tree is a very simple thing, but it's a very powerful tree magic word. But look at the upside. A lot of people doesn't have the vision of the ceiling when we are talking about ARK. They don't know like how far or how high can it go. In this part, how do we going to solve that?
All right. So let me give you an example, right? During the last bull run, right? The V1, let's say, Olympus DAO, it hits, massive approximately 4.5 billion market cap. I mean,
Uh-huh.
sorry, in liquidity pool, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that was basically, with a primitive model, right?
yeah,
A quite weak, tokenomics, and zero ecosystem, basically, right?
yeah.
Now, what Hark has been bringing to the table since we started, right? We are talking about, present in over 35 countries since July 2025. So in less than a year, right? And that brought us hundreds of thousands of users already onboarded. And also, we have a complete AI and Web3 ecosystem. And as a last but not least, we have a bulletproof tokenomics that is being battle tested from B1 all the way to B3. So based on how we see AI and Web3 growing, right? If we can get just, let's say, 0.2 to even 0.5 4 sorry to of the market, by, let's say,
Yeah.
2035, that means that we have, we're going through from 6 to 13 billion, in yearly
Wow,
net profit, right?
wow. Yeah,
We got like 10 to 20x multiply.
uh-huh.
That would put us, our value between 56 billion to 244 billion, right?
Mm.
So Arc, as you everyone can see, is not starting from zero, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah,
already a user base. We are combining, we are combining it with strong, V3 mechanism, and we are also aiming, to go well beyond, what V1 achieved before.
crazy. By only just get 0.2% to 0.4%, we can get up
That's
to
huge.
yeah, 244 billion. Oh my God, that is a very high
Yeah.
ceiling. So basically, as you said, that which means that Arc here with Arkie AI, It's
Mhm.
just starting. It's not even close
It
to the ceiling.
obviously we're just at the
Wow.
beginning anyway.
Wow. And together with the very strong mechanism, V3 mechanism with the AI platform, I
Yeah,
assume
and a good
it's going
user
to have
base. That is a big point as well.
it's going to be a very long-term game here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to finish up here, because I
Hmm.
assume that our AMA is coming to an end. Well, to finish
Yeah.
up, Dr. Carmelo, come on, hit the community with a very last thought.
Oh, well, let's say that greatness is a long term game, right?
Yeah.
If you look at let's say Elon Musk, right? He spent
Mhm.
like 20 years on SpaceX to get Starlink where
Yeah.
it
The
is
Starlink.
now.
Yeah.
If you look at, let's say, Sam Altman, he spent almost a decade, on OpenAI before, ChatGPT boom hit, right?
Yeah.
Now we're building Arc, taking, from V1 up to V3, and building, Arkie AI ecosystem. So, I think we are building, a genuine civilization level platform right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I've been saying many times, this is not a quick pump and dump. This is a long term play that can actually change regular people's life in the long run.
Mhm.
And I generally hope that everyone that is tuning in today stick with us for the whole ride.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
is a very, very big last thought lesson. Well, hopefully everyone that in this AMA live note that down. Greatness is a long-term gain. Well, once again, thank you, Dr. Camelo, for
Thank
those
you.
great news. And wow, Arkie is coming up next month. I can't wait. And also,
Yes.
good to see you in Asia market next month. All right. Well,
All right. I will see you soon there.
yeah, Dr. Camelo, for keeping us
Hmm.
real with us today. Once again, thank you, and also answering the community sharpest question. Well, to
That's a
recover
pleasure.
the tons, recover all those information that you've been sharing with us today, I'm gonna do a very quick recap for the key takeaway for everyone else in this EMA Zoom. Is that all right? And if it's
Yeah.
anything, then you just let me know if something wrong. All right. So over here, I have five key to share with everyone in this AMA. All right. So the first one is ARC is here to break the big tech AI monopoly and turns AI industrial and Web3 industrial system that we build together and profit together, which is decentralized. Instead of it go back all the cash and profit back to the giant company, giant tech company. And second, Arkie AI isn't just a chat box. It's a digital agent that can actually does actual work for every single regular people, acting as a gateway into Arc ecosystem, right? And to come forward with the third key point is it also grows the hack and seamless integration, though like deep social reach, which is plugin or expansion straight into the world's biggest social app to reach half of the planet population. So instead of installing a new product, or installing a new app, and with a very big textbook of guidance and white paper, which is blend in, just piggybacking into all social apps. And also, on the fourth key point here is a very, very incredible, massive news that all of us in the AMA here waiting for it. Arkie AI set to drop on Google Play and also Apple App Store next month. And
Yep.
plus, again, see you in Asia and wish you all the best hitting the road on the major business across Asia, Dr. Camelo. All right.
Thank you.
So, and then lastly, nonetheless, very simple magic three word. use, train, and hold. As just now, Dr. Kamalo mentioned about the ceiling. We are just started, not even close to the ceiling. So when we use and train and hold in between, we're going to create a greatness long-term game here. So for advice here, I highly recommend everyone that join our AMA here few times and also share this AMA live record for your friends that couldn't join or haven't joined. All right. And really replay it a few more times and sing in and stick with stick with ARC here. All right. And understand the criteria, the vision, the invest with confidence, and also keep the long game. All right. See you guys all at the top since our AMA is coming to the end. And thanks everyone for joining us today. And again, Dr. Camelo, thank you for sharing with us all the statistics and all the news and Arkie, I just can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And don't forget, let's build art together.
All right. Thank you, everyone, again for joining us today.
Thank you.
Let's keep the chat going on the group. All right. See you guys in Asia. Welcome to the new generation of ARC.
Bye-bye.
All right. See you guys.
We're done, right? Just give me a second, I'll be back. Just give me a second, yeah? Just give me a second.
Just mute because it's still in live.